Right, a very good morning to you all. Tuesday, the 26th of January. And this morning we have an assembly for you, which is called Do Words Matter? And we shall find that out as we go through this morning's assembly. But I hope you're all well. It was a very interesting weekend, lots of snow. Coming into work then on Monday morning was difficult, but not so bad at the moment. So, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe at home. I hope you're all enjoying the home learning, and I hope you all are enjoying the assemblies as well. So, Sam lived with his parents and his three older brothers. Sam was not very tall. In fact, he was the shortest in his class. His brothers called him Titch, but he knew that it was just a nickname and it didn't bother him. He knew that his brothers loved him really and wouldn't do anything to hurt him. However, at school, the nicknames were much, much worse, and they weren't just about Sam's height. You see, Sam was quite a quiet boy. He was always very well behaved and he worked hard, although he wasn't particularly good at PE or art. The bullies would find any excuse to tease him, using one of his many nicknames. There is a Japanese man by the name of Masaru Emoto who would agree with Sam. Words can hurt. About 20 years ago, Mr. Emoto decided to do some experiments with water. He had the idea of freezing water and studying the ice crystals using a microscope. Mr. Emoto and his team discovered that when they spoke nicely to the water, as it was freezing, using good, encouraging words, beautiful crystals formed. However, when the water heard only nasty, discouraging words, it froze to give ugly crystals. Mr. Emoto believes his experiments are proof that bad words can harm us. Well, I've never heard that before. Now, about the experiment, obviously. Bad words we know are not good. Sam often wondered if the bullies knew how much they were hurting him. Maybe they thought that because they weren't punching or kicking him, it didn't really matter, but they would have been wrong. They didn't know that Sam dreaded coming to school, that he felt sick in the car every morning because he was so scared of what might happen that day. They didn't know that he lay in his bed at night remembering every single nasty word that had been said to him. Sam would have loved to have had the courage to tell a teacher what was happening. The problem was that the bullies were clever and sly, or they often are, aren't they? If they were accused of using a nasty word, they would simply smile, shrug their shoulders and say, "We didn't mean it," or "We were only joking." Sam would also have liked to tell his mum and dad, but he didn't like to bother them with his problem. They both worked, and with 4 children in the family, life was busy. He thought he was doing the right thing by keeping quiet. Of course, Sam's friends knew exactly what was happening. They would love to have had the confidence to stand up to the word bullies, as they called them. But they were as quiet and shy as Sam. And anyway, Sam had made them promise not to tell anyone about his problem. They looked set to carry on forever until one day, Monday morning, a wonderful Monday morning, when everything changed for Sam. It was break time and Sam's teacher was on playground duty. The word bullies were normally very careful to make sure that no one could hear what they were saying, but that day they made a mistake. They didn't realise that Sam's teacher happened to be stood nearby. She had her back to them, but she was close enough to hear every nasty word they said. As soon as she heard what they were saying and the way they were saying it, she turned round to face them. Sam would never forget the look of shock on the boys' faces. They knew that they had been caught out and that there was no point in trying to make excuses. The head teacher persuaded Sam to tell her everything that had been happening so that she knew the whole story. She also spoke to Sam's parents, who were naturally very upset and very sorry that they hadn't known about it sooner. The bullies themselves were in serious trouble with the school and with their own parents. There was a special assembly. The head teacher talked about using our words wisely, and she explained that we should think before we speak. She said that we should always consider how our words will affect someone else, and if they won't be helpful, then it would be better not to say anything at all. She warned that using words that hurt people can become a bad habit, a habit that needs to be broken. Sam is still a quiet, well behaved, hard working boy, but he's not scared anymore, and he doesn't go to sleep thinking about the word bullies every night. He would never forget what had happened, and he would always remember to choose his own words wisely, because words do matter. Now, there's a saying, isn't there? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words should can also hurt me. Used to be that words will never hurt me, but we know from today's story that they do. But words can also hurt me. It's important to remember that words can hurt people just as bad as a punch or a kick or a push or a slap. If someone's teasing you, you know what to do. Come and tell a teacher, tell your parents, come and tell me. Sometimes your friends might come and tell as well. Always tell, as we say, because words certainly do hurt. And we all know that the bullies, they're sneaky. That's the type of people they are. They're not very nice people. If they were nice people, they wouldn't be bullies in the first place. So they do try their tricks and try to get out of it. But the truth always comes out in the end, as we know. So always be careful with the words that we use to people. Always be kind to people. Always treat people with dignity and respect. I hope you've enjoyed this morning's assembly. To finish, as we always will, with our school prayer. You can put your hands together and eyes closed, or you may pray in whichever way you wish. But we will all say our school prayer. Un, dau, tri. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the rooms be full of contentment. Let love abide here. Love for one another and love for life itself. Let our school be a lovely place where all of us are caring to each other, to work our best and show our smiling face, staff and children helping one another today and always. Have a lovely day, enjoy your home learning tasks, keep safe, and I shall see you soon. As we always say, over and out.